Hello everyone, I'm David Washburn, a support engineer at Pluggable Technologies, and I'm with my friend Bob Berner, who's also a support engineer at Pluggable. Today we'll be having a little tech talk around our two USB 3.0 graphics adapters, the 4K HDMI and 2K HDMI graphic adapters. So Bob, I see both of these adapters here. They look very similar in their form factor and the output available on them being HDMI. Can you explain to me the differences between them?
Yeah, the basic difference comes down to the maximum resolution supported by both. The 4K HDMI adapter actually supports a 3840 by 2160 resolution at a 30 Hz refresh rate, whereas the 2K HDMI adapter supports a 2560 by 1440 at a 60 Hz refresh rate.
So Bob, you mentioned that our 4K HDMI adapter supports a 3840 by 2160 resolution and a 30 Hz refresh rate. Can you elaborate on what that means to me as a consumer?
The refresh rate comes down to how often the screen is redrawn when the images are being displayed on your monitor. And due to the amount of pixels that are being pushed to support that 3840 by 2160 resolution over USB 3, our adapter is limited to a 30 Hz refresh rate, so half of what you may see typically on a monitor or a television. Now, in practice, using the adapter in the manners that we recommend it for with productivity software, such as a web browser, Microsoft Office, that 30 Hz refresh rate really isn't noticeable. The worst you may see is that when you're moving the mouse quickly, it may not necessarily be as smooth as you expected because the screen's only being redrawn half as many times. But outside of that, there's really not much difference. If you use our 4K HDMI adapter at a lower resolution, let's say 1920 by 1080, which it also supports, it will refresh at a 60 Hz refresh rate.
To determine if my computer can run one of these, what are some of the recommended specifications that Pluggable recommends?
As far as specifications, the first thing to consider is the type of display you're connecting to it. If you have a 4K capable display, you obviously would want to probably use the 4K HDMI adapter. If you do not have one of them, there's no point in spending the extra money for the 4K HDMI adapter. You can save yourself a few dollars and buy the 2K HDMI adapter. As far as the system specifications, our graphics adapters depend both on the CPU in your system and the graphics adapter in your system already in order to work. So as you're pushing more information, you're going to need higher specs. For our 4K adapter, running at the 4K resolution of 3840 by 2160, you'd want to have at least a Core i5 processor or better, and at least 4 gigabytes of RAM, and at least an Intel HD 4000 or better graphics adapter already in your system. For the 2K HDMI that runs at a lower resolution, you can probably get by with a little less. So it all depends, what do you actually need to use the adapter for that will help you pick which one you need, and then also how much resources you need to use to drive it.
I also want to be able to play sound out of my television or monitor that I've connected to these. Will these adapters also support that?
Yes, just like any other HDMI output, both the video and the audio signal are carried together. So when you use a standard HDMI cable from the adapter to your TV with built-in speakers or a monitor with built-in speakers, it will carry audio. Now, you have to be aware that your display has to have an audio output in order for that to work. If your monitor doesn't have speakers in it already, it's not going to magically add that ability. So as long as you have that, it works just as you would expect.
So what if I had more questions about compatibility and the differences between our two adapters?
Well, one of the things that we've gone great lengths to do is try and give people as much information as we can about our various products. Sometimes that may seem like we're throwing a lot of information, but in a lot of instances, the devil's in the details. So one of the things that we've done with our adapters and our USB docking stations on the products, we've tried to put useful information on the product pages itself. You're right now looking at the Pluggable.com page for the 4K HDMI adapter. In addition to basic product information up top, as you scroll down, we have more detailed compatibility information. And then also we have a handy adapter comparison that compares all the different USB 3 video adapters that we make to let you see what the maximum resolution supported, the recommended system specifications, refresh rates, everything like that you could possibly want to know.
Well, thank you very much, Bob, for educating us on our graphics adapters.
You're very welcome.
And thank you very much for watching. If you liked this video, please comment below and let us know what you thought. Also, if you have any additional questions, please reach out to us at support@pluggable.com. And if you like this video, please subscribe for more videos from Pluggable.
And I'm excited to show you our very first USB-C hub, the pluggable USB-C 3-port hub with pass-through charging.
But we just want to focus on the displays for today. Sometimes people have questions about what cables you can use to hook everything up.